Hello, YouTube! How are you doing? We are going to be talking about my hopes and dreams and desires for Wuthering Waves. I think that the game is really good. It has flaws, for sure, but I think that there is so much more that the game could be, and I want to talk about those, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Come join us on Twitch if you ever have time at twitch.tv/hex_juice. We stream daily at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It makes your pee-pee bigger, it gives you increased Riz, and it makes you smarter, at least 10% or 10 points. I don't remember what the promise was. Subscribe. I would say that if I were to rate Wuthering Waves on a scale of like the gacha games I played, it's giving 7 after playing for a month. I think that it is good. It is above average, but it's definitely not a 10. It's nowhere near perfection. It's nowhere near the best that it could be. But it's still it's a high number. It's a good number, especially for a release game. The bones of the game are very good, and that is generally why I tend to be a little bit less harsh on Wuthering Waves than I am on certain other video games in gacha, okay? The foundational, like the stuff that makes up Wuthering Waves is very, very good. And so since we're still in 1.0, we're still in the first month of the game, I'm not as harsh because I have a lot of hopium. However, it is intensely not perfect, and it does have problems. And we're gonna be putting out a video about that soon. So I wanna talk about what I want for Wuthering Waves, I guess, perhaps on a copium level, things that I think will be valuable and helpful and make the game better for me. The first thing I want to talk about, I talked about several times, I want skins. In fact, I demand skins. In fact, if we don't get skins, I am going to make freaking lose it. Please put skins in Wuthering Waves. This is more of an ask and not a tell. Or more of a tell and not an ask. We need skins. I think that skins are a really valuable method of procuring more income for the company, obviously. I would really like it to not be a skin gacha. I think skin gachas tend to be really gross and predatory, and I don't like them. But I think we need skins. I think skins will help increase revenue for the game quite a lot. I think it will let people who maybe like a character but don't love the design so much maybe have a different experience of that character. Also, I really just want a bunny rover skin. You can make it for the male rover too, I guess, if you want. But like specifically, can we get a bunny rover skin for the ladies, please? I'm begging. I don't care what you do with the male rover for his equivalent. Make him a dog or something. I don't care. But like, please. Bunny rover skin. Thank you. But yeah, skins in general, I just think would really add a lot to the game. You know, the gameplay. I want to buy skins. That's kind of the point. I'm trying to have like an intellectual discussion on why I would like skins in the game. The reality of the situation is that the answer is please, please, please. Can you please just give me skins? I want skins. I want to spend money on the skins. I'll wail on skins. Please don't make them a skin gacha. Please don't make them a skin gacha, but please let me spend money on the skins. I will wail out so much worse on cosmetics than I will on gacha. I love skins. Please give me skins. I'm begging. I think it'll be good for the company. I'm trying to be intellectual about it, but really it's just we're like, please. I want it. In Genshin, like that was something that was like terribly overlooked, and I'll be honest, I thought most of the Genshin skins were like pretty mid. No, they were ass. Let me not be nice. Genshin had dog shit skins that barely changed the characters at all, and they were really boring and I hated them. They barely ever put them out either, which made it even worse when there would be a skin and it was kind of garbo. I was always mad that they never made the Noelle KFC skin. They should have. I think that having like high quality skins like there are in PGR, because oh my god, some of the PGR skins are so cool. Can we just get some of that magic in Wuthering Waves? I'm on my knees begging. I'll do anything. The next one that I want is I would really like more interesting events. I guess part of the reason that I've been relatively chill about the events being kind of the word is boring and lame is because I would rather them spend time on perfecting the game, perfecting issues with balancing and progression and optimization for mobile users especially. I would rather them put time and energy and money and manpower on doing those things right now to make the game as usable for as many people as possible and as like positive of an experience for as many people as possible, right? However, the events thus far, in my opinion, have been very lackluster. The way that they have talked about future events for 1.1 also seems kind of boring and lame and lackluster, and I'm willing to be cool about it for now, but eventually we're gonna have to pick up the pace on some interesting events that actually add some something to the game. I'd love a boss rush. I think that would be really cool. I saw some suggestions on YouTube, which was to do like a battle event that you kind of learn how to parry, essentially. Like have like a parry training event, or even a like a dodge training event. I think those would be really interesting ones. That would be really good to do earlier on into the game being out. It allows people to learn mechanics and get rewards for it, and learn something hard, because I think the aspect of there being proper dodging and parrying mechanics in the game sort of makes people nervous, especially if they're gacha gamers. A lot of gacha gamers don't have as much experience playing other games. And so it might be a nice way to get people more into all of the different gameplay options that are available for Wuthering Waves specifically. But yeah, just better events in general. Not that Genshin is like the best, is the best at making really good, meaningful events, but realistically, stuff like the prop hunt event, I don't remember what that's called, Wind Trace type stuff that you can do with other people, not PvP, but stuff that you can maybe do things with other people would be really, really interesting. I don't really want PvP in gacha, personally. I think PvP is really bad for gacha games, but I would love to do things with other people. Hide and seek type stuff as well would be fun. But yeah, better events in the future. Major key alert. Really want that. I would like there to be a reason to continue doing holograms after they're done. Granted, perhaps this doesn't really apply to me in particular. It kind of seems like you finish them and then you go, oh my God, that was awful, I'm never coming back here. And then it's like a one-time only thing. It's not repeatable. So I would love for there to be some incentive that was like actually valuable to do holograms again, either adding new levels or potentially giving new different rewards, something that you can't get any other way, something like that. Something where they give you a reason to go back to holograms when they're done. Because at this point, all of those people that have already finished all the holograms, they go, hey, you're done. Unless you want to do some kind of like insane challenge for yourself, like some insane self-imposed challenge. So something added, something new. Maybe it's not that often, but just something so that holograms are not just like something that you do once and then you go, well, I did the achievement, and then you never ever touch it again. I would like Elusive Realm to be expanded upon, and I'm saying that also being fully aware of the fact that realistically, Elusive Realm is in beta. It literally says that it's a beta test on Elusive Realm. So like I'm saying that with full awareness of the fact that it is going to be done. But I think the thing for me about Elusive Realm is it has like so much potential. It has so many things that can be added to it. And so I would really love them to put like actual time and resources into making Elusive Realm as much as it can be. Because for me personally, like I think it is such a fun and cool event. Like having the roguelike mode in like an action-based game is so sick. But yeah, Elusive Realm is so fun because it gives you the opportunity to play a character in a way that they were not designed to be played. It lets you break the character. It lets you break the mechanics of the character. I think that's super sick, and I want more of that. I love that it is like challenge content, but it's also stupid. I'd like them to continue to actually innovate with Elusive Realm and add to it, because I'd love to see where it ends up if they really like put resources. I don't want this to be just like some extra side optional thing that is there. I want it to be like its own like fleshed out thing. I think that would be really cool. Of all of the things that are in this game, one of the biggest disappointments for me is the Phantom Echo system. Again, this is coming from me being an ex-Pokemon streamer, but the Phantom system just feels so ass. The fact that you can just go to like 4 or 5 different locations every single day and just check to see if the shiny is there, and then it is, and then you just have the skin and you never need to ever look for it ever again because there's no benefit to hunt shinies, is stupendously lame. I have found about 5 of these Phantom turtles because one of the spawns for the shinies is just next to the big turtle boss that I have to farm for my healers. And the fact that there is like no randomness to it, the fact that there are only 2 that you can find in the open world right now, it just feels like a wasted system. It feels like a wasted mechanic, especially because you find it once. The Phantoms have no benefit beyond being a Phantom. I think it was a nice thing that they made it so it was a skin that you could put on any of the other Echoes, but then they also made it so fucking easy to find because they're in the same 2 spots every day. It's so dumb. Please make it an actual like interesting shiny system that actually takes time to do, because I got both of the shinies within the first week once we figured out where the spawns were. and it's incredibly disappointing. And granted, part of that is because there's only 2, so it feels like way worse. Shinies are supposed to be hard to find. I get that this is not Pokemon, but like I genuinely really wanted that from this game, and I think they should be completely random on the map, and I think they should have a pretty low chance of spawning. It's just the Phantom Echo system is completely wasted, especially when most of the Phantom Echoes you can get are bought. And honestly, it's not even that hard to get the currency from the modes to buy them. It's dumb. It makes me mad. I want cool stuff. You can buy them from the endgame shops. Like, I don't even care to get them. Like, what the fuck do I care? I don't care about this. I don't even use this Echo. I don't use these. I mean, I guess I could get the Thundering Memphis one for my Yinlin, I guess. But it's like, these are lame as shit. I honestly don't even know why they even bothered to add them if this is how they was gonna be. I mean, it's fine if they're just recolors. It's just like they're recolors that are easy to find, and they're not even recolors that you typically would pull out. Except for the ones that are like the boss echoes. You're never gonna pull out your shiny turtle, like, ever. It's stupid. You're only ever gonna bring out 4 stars. And if it's so easy to get 4 stars, then what is the point? Fix the fucking cam. They said that they were gonna fix the camera in one of the previous updates, and in the most recent dev patch notes, they didn't say anything about the camera. The camera is still fucked. It is incredibly annoying that there is an implicit camera lock that you cannot turn off. I've turned off all the settings. They have been off since day 1. I don't like being forced to like manually lock. It's incredibly irritating. And then the fact that it'll just randomly just change what I locked on is so fucking like, it's so ass. Please, 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 I'm begging, fix the lock system in the game. It is one of the worst gameplay experiences in all of Wuthering Waves. It is a constant fucking hindrance to me enjoying the game. And I'm very concerned because it was not mentioned in the most recent patch notes. God, I'm so ass at fucking Danjin. Echo loadouts? Echo loadouts would be very good. Yeah, that's a good one. Echo loadouts are incredibly nice. I'm gonna be honest, I've said this before. Cookie Run Kingdom has Echo loadouts. Why do no gacha games basically ever have loadouts? Please, loadouts. Now, additionally, another nitpicky thing is I would really like it if there was, for echoes, both a lock button and also a trash button for when you are condensing them to do the random echo condensing things. Because there's a lock button. I appreciate the lock button. I wish there was also a trash button so that I could separate them, and so that we could do, when we do this data bank data merge thing, that those would just be able to go in and I wouldn't feel scared that I didn't, that it's going in there and I don't want it to. Does that make sense? Because that's an HSR. It's really nice for the relics, and I would love that. I think there needs to be a lot of balancing regarding your wave plate usage. That's one. I know that they're going to hopefully be working on it with the Echo XP stuff, but the reality is because of how fast you progress and then how fast you stop progressing, the amount of wave plate XP that you use for how much you actually get out of it feels really useless and bad. It kind of just feels like a chore so that I don't waste it. I want a condensed resin system or some sort of overflow system for the resin, but I think that there needs to be some way of getting Echo XP that is not only the taste it fields. Even if it's a low amount of Echo XP, there needs to be some way of having it. I think it would be cool if there was some more co-op stuff that you could do with people that was valuable and fun. It's nice that you can farm a little bit easier, but I want more from the co-op system. I think it could be more, could do more. I'd love raids. Boss raids would be really cool, kind of MMO style. I think that would be super cool. I don't know how they would do that. It feels a bit hard, but it would be so fucking cool if you could do boss, big boss raids. Guilds would be really cool too, to be able to bring the community in. Oh, I remembered the thing! Twitch drops. For most normal people, the value of proper Twitch drops is lost on the popularity and sustainability of a community for a game. Right now, we have a version of Twitch drops, but it's kind of crap because it doesn't require people to stay in the category and watch someone in the game to get those Twitch drops. Twitch drops right now, all you have to do is give 2 subs and you get them. You can come in, do that for 10 seconds and then leave. And that's fine. And I appreciate the boost in my revenue for it. But proper Twitch drops like they do in other games, it really, really, really helps not to the streamers. This isn't actually a streamer issue. Not having Twitch drops is actually overall sort of like a bad for the community. And this is perhaps a take that a lot of people are not gonna like immediately fully get, but not having drops, like proper time gated drops, is bad for the game because people will specifically come to Twitch fully and only to receive these drops. And it forces people, if they want those drops, to interact with the community, interact with streamers, interact with, interact in general with the game, engage with the game more deeply. If we put interesting and like good Twitch drops on, it will help the community stay together. It'll keep the community more engaged because if you have to watch for 4 hours, we'll say that's usually kind of like the average amount that you would watch for all of the Twitch drops, it helps people like get more into the community because like I understand like people don't think that content creators really matter for this kind of stuff, but absolutely 100% getting as much engagement between the content creators and the community and the game as possible absolutely and 100% helps overall with the game's success. Getting people engaged with the community is incredibly important for the success long-term of a game. A great way to do that is Twitch drops, especially if they're more valuable than, for example, Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail drops. A suggestion that I would like to have, if anybody is listening from Kuro Games or anywhere else, give us a glider. Give us a glider. That is the last step on the Twitch drops. You have to watch for your full 4 hours or whatever. But anybody who watches for that 4 hours on Twitch will get a new glider. I think that that would be such a nice thing. This shit sucks, okay? Getting resources, low amounts of 3 traveler's guides for character XP, this shit is ass. This is poop from a butt. Nobody cares about this. This is not gonna like get people into watching on Twitch. This is just a little extra bonus for people that already do that. But if you give us drip, limited time drip, that you have to participate with the community right now to receive, that will be huge in helping build engagement with the game and the community. I'm being so genuinely serious. This is an example about an event from Genshin, but I'm gonna use this as an example for like the reason that I think this is a really good drop. The Sealies were part of an event that were really, really early on after Genshin released. There was a really fucking long time where you could not get the Sealies anymore. There was months. And I remember I missed the Sealy event and I was absolutely frothing at the mouth with envy and jealousy for all of the people that had this drip that I absolutely could not attain. I wanted a Sealy so bad. And I like when there was a Sealy event, it was like I did nothing other than get that Sealy. I wanted it so bad. It's like it's a little mini companion. It doesn't do anything. It is purely aesthetic. It makes little noises and it floats around and it's very cute. It didn't add anything, but it was an indicator of how long you had been playing the game. At that point especially, because now they've rerun it I think a couple of times, but at the time it was an indicator that you had been there since basically day one, and I would like seethe with envy when I would see these motherfuckers with Sealies and I didn't have one. And so I think that a glider, like a stylized glider, you could be like a purple Twitch one if you wanted to, but having a stylized glider that anyone could attain, but only if they watch during this Twitch event. Maybe they rerun it in a couple months. Maybe they rerun it in 6 months, right? But like a stylized glider that you get from watching Twitch and engaging with the community directly. Not this shit with the subs, though I appreciate the extra money. Thank you, Kuro Games. But like something that forces you to watch for X amount of time, or at least leave it on for X amount of time. This drip gets the people going because it's a visual indicator that you missed out on something. You know what I mean? We ever get the KFC glider in Genshin? Yes, and the program was shit. You could only get the KFC glider from very specific streamers, and those streamers had a week-long exclusivity contract where they couldn't play or talk about basically anything else to participate in the event. And on top of that, people had to gift 2 subs for that glider. I'm not saying do that. I'm saying make people watch their 4 hours of Twitch in the category in Wuthering Waves, watch your 4 hours of a streamer, and then you get something that nobody else can get. Exclusive drip is so much better than resources, in my opinion, for this, because the reality is like you have to put a relatively low amount of resources, or typically they do, and resources don't show, there's no visual indicator that you got those 3 extra XP books. What there will be is a visual indicator of having drip that nobody else has, that they missed out on. So they better start watching on Twitch so they don't miss that drip again. If they put a glider for drops on 1.1, people would be fucking fanatic. A little bit of FOMO bait. It's not something that adds anything crazy to the game, right? It's just a glider. But you have that permanent visual indicator that doesn't go away, that you were there at this period of time and got this glider. I don't think it should be game-changing stuff. I don't think it should be like massive, huge pull rewards. I don't think that that's very like healthy, but I do think that giving people drip, visual aesthetic changes that are maybe minor but look really cool would be huge. Little companions like the Sealies would be great, but I think the glider is the best possible version of this. I have been thinking about this for weeks and I keep forgetting to talk to you about it. Those who watch Twitch streams are the most involved community members almost across the board every time. What other little nitpicks do I have for the game? There's a lot of other issues, some of them gameplay, some of them not. There's things that are difficult about the game. Obviously, I have a problem with the wave plates and I have a bit of a problem with the echo leveling just because I don't think it feels very good. Overall, though, my hopium for the game is huge because the battle is fun, the exploration is fun, and it's a very enjoyable experience to get better at the game. Part of why I like gacha games is because I enjoy the progression of struggling with something and then beating it. That's why I like Elden Ring too. And so adding more to the game would be such a huge deal. I think for some casual players, it might be nice to have some kind of like teapot thing. I don't personally want that, but like it might be nice to add some little like specific casual things to do. I just want them to build on the foundation of what they have is kind of ultimately what it is. If they start to sort of like scratch at that normie barrier and start to get like really wide success, my genuine fear is that they're going to go, okay, well, we're done trying. That's all the trying we had in us today. I'm done with it. And now we're going to go ahead and phone it in and give you shit updates and give no effort. And that is like a big fear for me in this game after Genshin. And so what I want very badly is for them to just keep doing more and more and like making something genuinely special. Because the reality of gacha games is that they're pretty shallow gameplay wise, if we can be honest with one another. Ultimately, gacha games are games that are centered around gambling. And so to a certain extent, they don't have to try that hard to make it something actually good or satisfying to play. Because once they get you addicted to the gambling part, they're kind of good. I would like this to be a gacha game that is also a game that is valuable, not just to people who like anime waifus or who like gacha games or maybe who like open world games, but people who like to play games, like actual game people. Because there is kind of a difference in terms of the audience between people who play like a lot of video games and people who tend to be like gacha gamers specifically. But I think that the reality is that the combat and the exploration of this game are good enough that it can appeal to normies. But it's gonna be hard if they keep it at the gacha game level. My genuine hope is that they continue developing this into something that is not like other gacha games, that is less and less like Genshin is, that has has more of an identity specifically as a proper game. Genshin is still a gacha game. HSR is still very much gacha. It has the gacha style of making a game, the gacha development style, I guess would be how I call it. I want this to be a game that is also gacha and not a gacha game that is like a real game. That's kind of my main desire. That's the primary premise of this. I'm sorry for like the intense amount of yap. It's kind of my job, I guess, so maybe I shouldn't apologize for that anymore. But like I want this game to actually follow up on everything it could be rather than getting complacent if it gets successful and like sitting on its laurels, I guess. Resting on its laurels. That's what I want. I also would really like them to revisit the entire first part of the game. The first patch of the story, I think, should be like basically completely redone. Do I think that that is a reasonable expectation? Kind of no. But I think that the entire first 6 acts could absolutely and 100% be totally redone top to bottom. And it would be a massive benefit to the game because the reality is that right now it is hard to get into the game if you're someone who cares about story because the story and the voice acting are so abysmal. And some people do still care about story. But like if they redid the beginning story and redid all the beginning dialogue, especially for Yang Yang and Shisha, I think it would be a huge benefit to the game because it won't turn away players before they get into the actual good part. That's kind of like my thoughts. It's a bit rambly and whack. I probably should have made myself some more points before doing this, but it is what it is. But yeah, I really do like Wuthering Waves. I think it has the bones to be something so much more than I honestly anticipated. I think in a lot of ways, Wuthering Waves has exceeded my expectations of how good it is. It needs a lot of work, but we're still in the first month of the game. But it's got the bones of something that could be so much more. And I'll admit that I have a lot of fear that it just won't ever do that. I've said a lot of times that like nobody hates on Genshin. I think that didn't originally love Genshin unless they've had a really bad interaction with the community, which is probably not that uncommon. And like, I don't want this to be that. I don't want this to be the thing that could have been something and then it never was. And so I think that we should all remain critical because we don't want Genshin 2.0. I care very much about Wuthering Waves because I have a lot of hopium. And I'm going to be honest that maybe it's too much hopium. But the bones are so good and it has so much potential. And I just want to wait and see for what it can fulfill or what it can do or what surprises are in store. There's plenty of things to be critical about. I am critical about them all the time. But let me know what your hopes and dreams are for Wuthering Waves. Let me know where your hopium level is at a 1 out of 10. Not how you feel about the game as it is, but what your hope is for the game in the future. And 1 out of 10 in the comment section down below. Come watch us on Twitch if you have any time. Bigger PP, bigger Riz. More maidens, increased intellect, and less acne. We'll do that too. I'll throw that one in as a bonus. Better acne. Twitch.tv/hex_juice. And I will see you next time. Be safe, drink water. Bye-bye.